Hey, what's up everyone? I am just going to make a quick video here regarding something that I'm going to call a shift or a change in reality for myself. And I first discovered this by the YouTuber who goes by the name of Once Upon a Timeline. I'll leave a link in the description below this video to her video so you can check out her channel as well. So a big shout out to her and her channel, so feel free to check her channel out. And also, like I stated, I'll also leave a link to her video so you can check out her channel, and I'll also leave a link to my PayPal in the link in the description below this video. A link to both of those in the description below. So this is regarding green blood. Apparently people actually have green blood in this world, reality, whatever, in the world around us that we see now, with all of these things that are changing for some of us, for many of us, and not others, but many of us who are awakening and awakened to this and aware of this. Apparently there's green blood, and it even baffled the scientists. They don't understand why there's a rising case of numbers of people with green blood. Maybe it has something to do with the changing DNA of humans, and maybe part of this ascension process in some kind of way where the biological structure of the human genetics is changing, and maybe the blood, the blood cells are changing as well to cause the blood to have a different color when it reacts with oxygen. I know that the blood, they say, is majority red. The blood cells are red, and which causes the blood to be red on the inside of the body, but they state when it reaches the particles in the air, when it goes right outside of the skin, I'm sorry, blue, not red. I got that backwards. It's I'm thinking backwards. It is I'm not reading anything as usual. I usually just spitball, just randomly, as they call it, just freestyle, just non-scripted. My videos are usually just most always non-scripted unless I'm reading an article. But I just the blood is blue. They say it's blue on the inside of the body, and then when it reaches the particles on the outside and the air when it hits the oxygen, they say the oxygen reacting with the structure of our blood actually causes it to turn red. That's what they say anyway, and that's what is so baffling about this case and the other cases they're dealing with, is because of the green blood. So maybe it's a changing in the human genetics, but regardless, it's a change for me, and it's a change for the YouTuber who goes by the name of Once Upon a Timeline, who I'll leave a link to her video so you can check out her channel below this video, and I'll leave a link to my PayPal and maybe my Twitter account, and maybe I'll leave a link to some other social medias. I don't have Facebook yet. You have to give your actual name for Facebook, so that's what kind of left me on the fence with that. And I don't know, there's so much drama and crap that happens with Facebook, and I mean, I don't know. It's I don't get into it. I don't get into the drama. I don't gossip, and I don't say things about people. I don't spread hate and negativity and all that crap. But I don't know. Family drama and crap happens on Facebook, and I'm not getting into that. But I mean, it's good to see what people are saying. You can check up on things and find people and things like that. But I mean, there's positives and negatives in it, like every social media platform. But back to this, maybe I will someday. We'll see. But maybe I'll post my Twitter, my Instagram, and my Google Plus account below. I know I'll post the PayPal and the link to her channel. I will do that. But anyway, yeah, that's interesting. Green blood. Green blood. I know it's alien blood, right? But I know they state that, you know, our genetics are changing. That's part of what we're seeing around us. And when I started thinking about how badly I hurt when I was going through something that I almost couldn't handle, it was like I couldn't handle the pain, the struggle, and I just said I couldn't handle this. And I said, this is what it's going to be. I can't handle this. I wasn't aware of that at the time either. I said, I just can't. I mean, I wrote documents about it. I wrote a document that I had to get out of the laptop crashed. So I've always had electronics mess up on me. During that time, it was very common, much more common. Knock on wood that it doesn't happen, as they always used to say. Fingers crossed, but that doesn't happen. That it doesn't happen again. That I don't crash my devices, but it's always happened that way. When I was going through those awakening symptoms, and I looked up all my symptoms that I would go through in high school, and the symptoms that I would go through throughout my life, and I was in so much pain, and I was so dark, depressed, in pain, and everything was just, oh my goodness, the system and the control and the system and the school and everything, it just made no sense to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like the structure of the way society was, the way it's ruled, the way things are done. I just felt really bad, and I was just really, but I was such a kind person, and everyone was just like, man, I mean, everyone was like, I was so nice. They were so in awe of the way I was. Things would come to my mind, I would write them down, numbers would come to my mind, I would draw things that were symbols of ancient symbols that I didn't even know what I was drawing. Powerful symbols. Someone said, dude, that's very powerful. And I was like, I just drew it. He said, that just come to your mind? I said, yeah. And I drew these eyes and these various things in art class that I didn't even know what I was drawing in 9th grade, and it turned out to look like, it was like these eyes watching people, and it was an abstract drawing that I did. And he said, dude, that looks like I'm looking at God. And he was like, I feel like I'm being judged by it, by the drawing. And he said, that's amazing. And it was just, I'll have to show that drawing I did sometime. But I didn't plan it out. I never did. It just happened that way. And whatever I would draw, one time it was wound up being this owl on a totem pole, and so many things that I would draw. Ancient symbols of reincarnation and power, Wiccan symbols, healing symbols, and spiritual symbols, and all kinds of things that I didn't even plan out or even know what they meant, but I felt a strong connection with things. And when I looked up my symptoms of the pain that I went through and the suffering and the things that I was going through in school, what happened was I was led to a website. I wound up finding this website that was Our Pathway to Truth. And I don't remember if it's .net or .com or it's .something, obviously, but it's Our Pathway to Truth. And it started talking about symptoms of awakening and ascension, and it said ascension to the new age. And a lot of people, when you say, oh, well, new age, they're like, well, it's, occult and all kinds of things, and occult and cults in general, and they all say, well, it sounds like a cult that you're in or something like that, or the occult of the dark side of the dark side of energies and healing and not evil, but basically power of the intention. And what it is, the power of healing and the power of the intention. You can use it for light or dark, and it's in the eye of the beholder, or the eye of the, basically it's in the hands of the user, basically, is what I meant to say. But I looked that up, and that's what I was led to, Our Pathway to Truth. And it was about all of these things, that you need to bless your food when you're, with energy, for people like me, people like myself. I don't know, other various cultures do that. And I don't know why people can't just get along in this world. And regardless of their various beliefs, whatever beliefs they have in God and the source, why can't they just get along? I believe in Christ. I believe in the source God. And the Holy Spirit guides us to the truth. Why can't people just get along in this world and just, we're in this world, get along, stop fighting, stop killing, stop all of that mess? I mean, it's so stupid, so crazy. Anyway, all of these various cultures, you'd think they would, I don't know, anyway. But back to the topic of what I went through. I was going through all of these symptoms of awakening and healing and everything. And then suddenly, I met that person in Walmart. And that 2012 experience that I'll never forget, that I titled that video, I'll try to find it and leave a link below as well for that, where you can check that out if you haven't seen it, yet. And that's where I spoke to Almadea78 and Always Thinking, those two YouTubers who have been with me since the beginning. Now, I haven't heard from, I hope Always Thinking is doing all right. I haven't heard from her in a long time, and I haven't seen a video from her in a while. So if you're listening, let me know. And Almadea78 spoke to me a while back, and I'm glad you're doing okay. I know the ups and downs of life. I know about that. Believe me, of your emotions and things. That I know. I'm glad I got the guts and bravery to be able to share on here. I'm glad I got that. I mean, the confidence to be able to actually share on here. That's a blessing. I never thought I would be doing that, ever. What I'm doing right now, sharing. If I was like I was when I was in school, I could have never even, I would be like, I couldn't even get the words out. I could not, let alone imagine so many people streaming and listening to my voice in a podcast or whatever you want to call it on the internet. I would have never dreamed of that. I would have never thought that, ever. And then here it is. So, it's amazing. But what I was going through at the time, and the awakening, and I couldn't eat without it was awful. I would hurt. My side went through a lot of pain. My body went through these pains, and I still go through it a lot, but to the extent that I was then, I don't even want to talk about it. What I went through, I would never want to go through again. And then I've seen other people around me going through similar things, and this boy was saying, I don't belong here. I don't feel like I belong here. I don't fit in. I want to go home. I don't even feel like I belong in this world. It was like something's happening, and that's what he stated, and I was hearing that, and I thought, oh my goodness. And that's what he told my daddy as well, and his parents didn't understand. They wanted him to eat. This was at the restaurant, and they didn't understand. They didn't get what was going on. And I experienced very similar things. I couldn't at the time even talk to people. At the time, I couldn't even talk to people. I couldn't speak to people. I couldn't walk through a line. It's like you'd think I had just watched the saddest movie ever. I was like about to cry and just got emotional, and just like everything was it was ridiculous. The emotions, the physical and mental and emotional strain and struggle that I was going through hurt unbelievably. And that was all part of it. And then this person, this being, who felt like a giant when he held my hand and he said a prayer, and he was stating, and he looked up. That's what was so strange. I said, how do you know this? All about me, basically. He said, and then he looked up and he went, and looked back at me. And he said, you see and hear things, don't you? I said, yeah. And then later I said, you mentioned I see and hear things. I said, I see and hear things a lot. He said, that's good. That's good. He said, that's good. That means you're awakening. So, and then he talked about several things. You can look up that video where I described it. Just look up 2012 experience that I'll never forget. Spaced Out Productions video, and you'll find it. You should find it. It should be on there. It should still be on the internet. It should be on YouTube. It was one of my first videos. My first video, I think, was about Cracker Jacks, the Mandela effect on Cracker Jacks for me. I think that was my first one of, if not the first, if not the very first one. And then I think a little bit after that, I got the guts to share that. I mean, it's amazing how we all started talking about these things and these similar things, and then it led to this. It's all been leading up to, every moment has been leading up to this, and then the hereafter. And something huge is happening. I've always felt strongly about the coming of the Lord, the return, the second coming. I've always felt very strongly spiritually connected with out there. Now sometimes I felt so conflicted because of all of this. All of this was happening to me, and I know it's true. It's the truth. It has to be, because all of this is happening. But then all of this various knowledge out there, and then it contradicts. But then but then you're like, but it's bound to be true because it's happening. And then, but then, bottom line, I still believe in the Lord. I still believe in the Lord, and I always will. But well, there is no but on that. I mean, I still believe in the Lord, and I'm also still continuing to try to find myself and find the truth of why this is happening and what's going on, where we're going. And I feel we're going home, and I feel the awakening is happening, the ascension is happening. I feel there's so much happening. There is so much happening right now, and what was happening a while back was a precursor to this. But could that green blood right there, could that be a Mandela effect or a quantum reality shift? Is better terminology for it. Kind of like Always Thinking came up with a long time ago, and we came up with that together, stating that was a good idea to call it kind of a quantum reality shift, or whatever you want to call it. And so did Almadea 78. I think all three of us came up with that name. Kind of just decided to. We just kind of settled on that name. And anyway, as part of the awakening and this phenomenon. But it's. Do you think that the green blood being experienced in several patients, that's baffling so-called experts and scientists and doctors, people in the medical community, all of those individuals who supposedly think they know it all, and all of those experts who know nothing that they think they know, that they only know what they know only doesn't even scratch the surface. Basically, it just dents a pin dot, maybe is a pin dot in comparison to the entire other vastness of knowledge that they do not know. People are always learning, and in this vastness of expanse, this expansive existence, there's so much we don't know. And there's so much knowledge and hidden knowledge coming to light, ancient knowledge, the truth, and it's going to be a confusing time, and it still is. Like, I'm still going through pains and so many things right now, but we're still trying to figure it out. We're still stuck here trying to figure it out. Like that song goes. I can't remember the name of the band. Figure It Out is the name of the song, though. It sounds a lot like I can't think of his name right now, but that song, Figure It Out, it sounds a lot like him, but it doesn't show to be him. I can't think right now. Jack White. That's who it sounds like. That song, I'm still stuck here trying to figure it out. I can't remember the name of the actual band, but it sounds a lot like Jack White, how he would sing. But anyway, yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about. Could the green blood be something to do with a quantum shift, reality shift, universe shift, whatever this is? Could it be something to do with the Mandela effect phenomenon and the changing of our DNA, the changing of genetics, and basically from the smallest, like the Native American Indians said in their prophecy, the Hopi prophecy of the blue, red Kachina and all of that. And the Bible talks about all of this. Biblical prophecy tells about so many things we are going through right now. And could this be part of a shift from the changing of the smallest molecular thing to the largest visible and unseen even thing, from the smallest to the largest, from the seen to the unseen, from the unseen to the seen, could that be part of the changes? Could this be a change? Anyway, I'll leave a link below to the YouTuber who posted this and talked about this and whose thumbnail this is, and give me your thoughts on all of the things that I've discussed in this video. Peace and much love. Thank you for watching. I love you all. I hope to speak with all of you again very soon. Happy holidays and upcoming Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Peace. Bye.